So my name is Jon Agg, legally Jonathan, so I hate the H when people shorten it to J-O-H-N when it's just J-O-N. I basically, I'm one of those funny people that went to university and got out of university and said, well, what the heck am I going to do with an arts and culture degree? So I went to the pleasure of going to U of T Scarborough and met my wife there and met my business partner there, which is another story for you at some point. We are no longer business partners. I went through a civil litigation process. Basically, we started the company in 2005. I remember like it was yesterday. We basically signed our first condominium contract. Couldn't get a plow installed anywhere, and it was snowing that night. So we had to drive to Rochester to get a plow installed. And literally, we were plowing back in Scarborough by midnight that very first night that we got the plow installed on our brand new leased F350. So that was November 2005, and at this point we have about 160 people that work with us, about 80 vehicles on the road, most of them pickup trucks, but we do have some Nissan Micras just to zip around in. Some of my supervisors drive those. We kind of, our main business is the condominium market, so we do about 250 condos throughout the GTA, but we're also very big into the BGIS world, so Brookfield Global Integrated Solutions. We do a lot of work with them through the Hydro One account, TD, Purelator, Professional Engineers of Ontario, Rogers, and we're currently bidding on Bell sites and the actual individual TD and CIBC sites. So that's definitely a big focus to grow more with BGIS. But like I said, our main focus is condominiums as well. So you're not going to like my answer. Let me forewarn you. So I only joined up Landscape Ontario, I want to say maybe 2016. I was invited to participate in the Snow and Ice Committee, and my focus at the time, because I'm an extremely selfish person and only care about my own company and myself, was to help with the insurance costs. So someone said, hey, you should come to this meeting, Snow and Ice Committee. And so that was my first intro into landscape. I'm pretty positive I went to that meeting as not even a member of Landscape Ontario, and then basically realized, okay, I should probably actually join up to participate properly in this committee. If you had talked to me in 2014, and Alan White did, oddly enough, I don't know if he remembers that conversation, probably 2013 or 14, I spoke to him. He said to me, you're alone on an island when you're not kind of part of Landscape Ontario. And I said, yeah, but it's a really nice island. I have a good island I'm on. It's I've got palm trees and nice beaches and nice house on the island. So why do I need to expand my horizons? Why do I need to be part of a continent? What he said to me really stuck with me in some ways, but I was also probably an arrogant 30-year-old at the time. So you hear things, but you think you know better in many respects. And I also I gave a lot of not negative to the Landscape Ontario, but basically I always say, listen, I'm one of the largest companies now in Scarborough at the time. Landscape Ontario has never reached out to me to say, hey, you should join up. Landscape Ontario is not ever waving me down and saying, we want a company of your stature to be involved. And so that was kind of part of my negativity as well towards Landscape Ontario is, I'm doing pretty well. I'm not getting asked a lot by property managers. I only ever remember one property manager ever asking me if I was a member of Landscape Ontario. I deal with a lot of property managers. So it was kind of those factors that were like, why am I going to spend the $500 a year on the membership when it wasn't in my mind going to make or break me. It wasn't going to really change anything for my day to day. Then when I did go out and participate in the Snow and Ice Committee, I really saw the potential. And I don't want to give too much credit to Tony because he already is such a wonderful guy that he gets a lot of that anyway. But you meet Tony and you realize this guy's genuine. This guy is he's not like, he doesn't have a hidden agenda. He's not in anyone's pocket. He's not he's not doing any of this for himself. He's believing it all. I want to say in that moment I drank the green Kool-Aid. I realized that this is something I want to be a part of. At that moment, I joined the Landscape Ontario Snow and Ice Committee. I very quickly then became a member of the Durham chapter, and then quickly became its president. And now I'm on the provincial board. So my again one you know thing that I have to kind of step back and say, that was too easy. I shouldn't have been able to quickly become so involved with Landscape Ontario. There should have been a few more walls up because it is something important. It is something valuable to me as an owner of a business. I ended up being a professor at Durham College for a year because they looked up and, president of the Durham chapter. I've basically been reached out to by many landscaping companies because they're not Googling Pristine property, they're Googling Landscape Ontario and saying that I'm accessible and here's my email address type thing. So there's been so many benefits to me in that respect that started with, fine, I'll join up the snow and ice community because I want to save on insurance. So it's, like I said, I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for perhaps, but it's the truth. This is kind of what happened. And now I'm a big supporter of Landscape Ontario. I really believe in Landscape Ontario. Now that I've kind of seen it from the inside, I can help, with things that I think Landscape Ontario should be doing. I still believe we should be reaching out when we see decent companies that look like they're running a well-oiled machine and saying, hey, we want you to be a member. When I was 22, I would see MPS trucks driving around and go, holy smokes, what a big, huge company MPS is. I see TCG trucks. Holy smokes, what a big company that is. I'd see, many of the other, BP landscaping when I drive out in Brampton. Holy smokes, these guys run a good show. And it was funny to be that young guy with, maybe 2 or 3 trucks at the time, looking up to these huge companies. And now I sit at the table with them and consider some of them friends. And it's so nice to be able to call, Jim Monk and say, hey man, I'm having this issue. When I first met Jim Monk, I was buying a half yard of, what was it called? That treated salt that's golden color and smells like molasses. That was in probably 2006 or 7. And just knocked on the front door of MPS and tried to, and bought a half yard of it because I was in the area and needed treated salt. And he was a gentleman then, he's a gentleman still. And these aren't my competitors. These are guys that you can reach out to and talk to. Yeah, we might bid against each other on the same site now, but it's that's the nature of the beast. So it's definitely nice to have those relationships. Jamie and Brian from BP Landscaping are great guys, and it's nice to chat with them. And when I run into them at Congress or when I see them at the committee meetings, same thing. You learn so much by just talking to someone who, for them, they're not really a direct competitor. I don't do a lot of work out in Brampton. And it's nice just to be able to talk honestly with people and know that they're all good people. Like these are not people that are looking to stab you in the back or be nice to your face and then, hey, let's bid on that property he just mentioned to us. So I think there's a lot of good camaraderie and reciprocal help that's being provided. Hopefully, I've done the same for people. We're good at looking outward. We're not always good at looking inward. So I'm sure I've had some interactions with people that have, were a 5-minute conversation to me that I forgot about 10 minutes later. But hopefully it did some good to help people. And that's what I look forward to as I grow as a person. I think our industry, for some odd reason, has a lot of good people in it. Don't get me wrong; it has some snakes as well. I've been backstabbed a couple of times for being a bit too honest with people, and but you know what, you live and you learn. But I also feel I'm a pretty good judge of character, and it is nice to actually have those. I'm not saying it's 100 people; it's probably 10 people that you can actually have very honest and open discussions with, and they'll give you honest and open advice. Because at the end of the day, if we are all doing better together, that's good for the industry. If we are all out there stabbing each other in the back constantly and undercutting and low bidding and talking smack, as they say, about our competitors, it discredits the whole industry. You don't ever hear where am I? I'm in a No Frills parking lot right now. So if No Frills goes out and starts talking smack about food basics, it hurts that kind of entry level supermarket industry. It doesn't necessarily hurt food basics. And I think the same applies to our industry, where if we all are uplifting each other and helping each other out. There was a smaller company that I ran into at a tendering recently called Headshot. My wife thinks it's a cute name. But the guy got to the meeting early, so I was meeting the customer at 5:30, and he was supposed to meet them at like 5:45 or something. He got there like 5:35. So he kind of came up as I was just finishing talking to them. It was a quick little tendering for front interlocking. And the first thing he said, "Oh, PPM. Oh, I've heard great things about this company, and you guys have a really good reputation on the West Rouge Facebook page." And I said the same about him because I've heard good things about his company. Um, and um, and it's one of those things that it's so nice to hear someone say that and for me to say it about them versus, oh, why are you hiring this company? Like I think that's an inherent quality in our industry is we really don't try to bad talk each other. We are always kind of saying, yeah, you know what, whatever you end up deciding, there's a lot of good companies out there. And I think we see that in international interactions. So I don't know. I think it's just our industry. I think we genuinely have good people. Now the joke with my company is up until last fall, we had nothing but Fords. So we never ever leveraged that with Landscape Ontario because there was no Ford discount. We were already getting a decent enough price through Enterprise Fleet Management. But this was our first time in the fall where we actually had to sign a document with Landscape Ontario when we leased. I think we got about 10 new Dodges and 8 new Chevys. So it was kind of funny that after 4 years of being involved with Landscape Ontario, that was the first time we ever even went for some of the discounts. We are not the norm. I would say the majority of when you talk to people is that mentality of I'm going to sign up for the discount. I understand it, and at the end of the day, if that's a way that Landscape Ontario is able to grow, and then hopefully that's now I don't want to say a hook in someone, but it's a carrot dangling in front of them that will now hopefully open the door to more investment of their time for the betterment of the industry. Hey, I'm all for it. I still come back to the one of the main reasons I got involved with Landscape Ontario was we pay a fortune in insurance. I'm very much hoping that as I grow as a company, we're now part of an SIR group. I don't know if you've heard much talk about that. So that's with two other Snow and Ice committee members, and then some other companies that are fairly large companies. I'm really hoping with Landscape Ontario's leverage, with Tony's help, with everything the SIR group is doing, that we really see a fundamental change in the way snow and ice companies are insured. So that's still a huge focus for me because when you spend as much money as I do every month, even in the summer, there's the same amount of 12 months. So you just look at that every month, you're like, holy smokes, this is killing me. And I've known so many companies that they might have done 50 grand a winter in snow business, and their insurance was $7,000 for that winter. And then all of a sudden they had a renewal at 42 grand, and they're like, "What the heck? Like, I'm losing money to plow snow. Like, this is not logical." So I think we need to be there to support those companies and come up with solutions for them. I'm hoping Marsh, with this new company behind it, is able to do some good there, and I'm hoping with the SR group that I'm involved in, we're able to do a lot of good and really become a force to be reckoned with.